Pengasan says strike won't cause fuel scarcity. Notable absentees at River State Interdenominational Thanksgiving for Independence anniversary. Federal government rejects genocide claim against Christians in Nigeria. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Trump to meet Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu today. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasan, says their strike on Monday will not cause fuel scarcity. The strike is because Dangote Refinery is said to have sacked many Nigerian workers. Many people fear there will be long fuel queues. But Pengasan leader Festus Osifo said there is no need to worry. He said only gas supply to refineries has been stopped. Speaking on Channels Television, Osifo says the union will immediately withdraw its strike declaration if Dangote Group reinstates its staff members who were dismissed for joining Pengasan.
If Dangote called back those people that he has terminated today, Sheung, I can tell you, normalcy will be reinstated in the next 1 hour. So every cause, there is an effect. So the part is this. Why will you just wake up? Because people opted to join union that exists everywhere in the industry. Pengasan exists in about 200 oil and gas companies in Nigeria.
Osifo accused Dangote of sabotaging the nation's economy, adding that he used the proceeds from the single importation licenses issued to him for investment in other countries.
The person that is sabotaging Nigeria economy is Aliko Dangote. Aliko Dangote is whom he is today because of Nigeria. Nigeria gave him a license to import flour. Nigeria gave him single license to import sugar, single license to import salt. The refinery that Dangote built is our money. With the Nigeria government subsidized first for him to build that refinery. And some of the funds that they gave to him found itself in Uganda. He was using Nigeria money to be building what he was building in another part of the world.
But even as the union stands its ground, the federal government is racing against time to avert a full-blown crisis. The government has asked the union to stop the strike. Labour Minister Mohammed Dingyadi said he has called Pengasan leaders and Dangote refinery managers for a meeting today, Monday, to settle the matter. Now, on the street of Port Harcourt, correspondent Nandi Samuel is monitoring the situation. He reports that most filling stations have remained open, with NNPC selling petrol at 885 naira and others selling at 890 naira. In the meantime, an economist, Ken Ife, has cautioned the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasan, against engaging in an industrial war that it cannot fight against the Dangote Group. He stated this on Channels Television while reacting to the disagreement between the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Pengasan over unionization and the sack of some Nigerian workers by the company. He warned them against trying to destroy a refinery that is systemic, strategic, and that protects national interests. The professor said that while Nigeria's foreign direct investment has melted away, the nation's refineries were not functional despite the huge amount of money spent to revive them. He also argued that employers shouldn't be denied the right to hire and fire. Still on this, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, has asked the management of the Dangote Petrochemical Refinery to tender an open apology to the group for the dismissal of more than 800 Nigerian workers. The Secretary General of TUC, Nuhu Toro, in an interview noted that the refinery violated the sacked workers' constitutional rights. According to him, the Dangote refinery has, since the breakdown of the ongoing dispute with Pengasan, avoided addressing the crux of the matter. And why people worry about fuel, doctors are threatening to down tools. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has given the federal government 30 days to address a list of unresolved welfare and policy issues affecting its members. The doctors are demanding payment of salary arrears, implementation of promotion entitlement, and reinstatement of colleagues who were sacked. The ultimatum was issued in a communique signed on Sunday by NARD President Mohammed Suleiman, Secretary General Shuaibu Ibrahim, and Publicity and Social Secretary Abdul Majid Ibrahim at the end of the association's 45th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference in Katsina State. Well, away from labor unrest, the River State government had an interdenominational Thanksgiving service on Sunday to mark Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. But the big takeaway from the event is that some key political figures stayed away. Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martin Amekule, was absent, and out of 23 local government chairmen, only the Opobon Korol chairman showed up. Now, this comes despite claims by Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his political mentor, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, that peace has returned to the state. Governor Fubara, who was the special guest, declined to make remarks when called upon. He attended alongside his wife, Deputy Governor Ngozi Odo, the Chief Judge, Justice Chibuzo Amadi, top traditional rulers, service commanders, and several dignitaries. Correspondent Ekachimu's reports that the governor declined to speak when he was called upon to speak to make his remarks. Now, you will recall that President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in River State back in March, suspending both the executive and legislature over the political crisis between Fubara and Wike. The emergency was lifted on September 17 after both sides announced they had resolved their differences. Now, it might interest you to know that Sunday was the birthday of Speaker Martin Amekule, and we can confirm there was no public birthday wish from either the government or the state government. Meanwhile, political observers say the cracks are still visible. PDP chieftain Alex Wele says the current situation in Rivers is merely a semblance of peace.
I don't know what the governor is within his constitutional right to dissolve and reconstitute any board. I believe he has the reason, but what those reasons are is what I don't know. And whether that will have a triple effect on other boards that will have been constituted before now is also what I don't know. We can only wait to watch the actions of the governor. Whether it will affect the peace or not, like I said, depends on what is the reason behind the dissolution.
Also, Dr. Obina Wadim of the University of Port Harcourt told our correspondent Yekachinwosu that what was reached was only a ceasefire, not real peace.
I think in his wisdom, it makes some sense. He's trying to reassert himself as the executive governor of the state. But I don't think that it has any potential to bring back troubles. There are fence-mending mechanisms, and this one shouldn't be enough to potential trouble ahead in the state. The governor has taken a bold step.
Dr. Wadim also described Governor Siminalayi Fubara's decision to dissolve the River State Pension Board as a bold move to reassert his authority as governor. On Friday, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara approved the immediate dissolution of the River State Pension Board. In an interview with our correspondent, the University of Port Harcourt lecturer dismissed fears that the decision could trigger another round of political crisis in the state. He suggests that the governor may have consulted with President Bola Tinubu before taking the step.
The one of the first things he did when he came to office was to go to meet the president to seek for his advice in order to avert future troubles in the state. I also think that perhaps he may have also sought the advice of Mr. President in what he is doing. And maybe Mr. President would have given him the go-ahead to actually take some decisions in order to reassert himself. But I don't see him totally dissolving all the board the former sole administrator put in place.
We go on a quick break. When we return, court declares Pat Otome's shadow government cabinet unlawful. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3.
You're welcome back. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said that the high level of participation by Nigerians, especially the youth, in the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR shows that citizens still had confidence in the process. Reacting to recent claims suggesting that Nigerians had lost confidence in the country's electoral system, the Chief Press Secretary of INEC, Chairman Rotimi Onyekomi, told newsmen the assertions were baseless and unsupported by fact. Onyekomi said the that the CVR, which began on August 18 with online pre-registration, shows that citizens still had confidence in the process. Onyekomi added that within 1 week of the in-person registration, a total of 72,274 citizens either completed their online pre-registration or registered in person. He said that by week 5, on September 21st, since the start of online pre-registration, over 5 million Nigerians had uploaded their details to the CVR portal. And now, a federal high court in Abuja has issued an order restraining Professor Pat Utomi and his associate from proceeding with their plan to establish a shadow government cabinet in the country. Justice James Omotosho issued the order today, Monday, in a judgment on a suit by the Department of State Services, DSS. Justice Omotosho declared the concept of shadow government cabinet as unconstitutional and an alien concept to the nation's presidential system of government. The judge held that Utomi and his associate cannot hide under the right of association and to criticize the government for engaging in unlawful activities. He commended the plaintiff for filing the suit and held, among others, that it was within the right of the DSS to take steps to prevent acts capable of threatening the nation's eternal security. In other news, the federal government has rejected claims that terrorists in Nigeria are carrying out a systematic genocide against Christians, describing such allegations as false and divisive. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says portraying Nigeria's security challenges as a targeted campaign against one religious group is a gross misrepresentation of reality. He stressed that extremists have attacked Nigerians of all faiths, including Muslims, Christians, and even those with no religious affiliation. The minister noted that while Nigeria has faced acts of terrorism, labeling the situation as a deliberate, systematic assault on Christians oversimplifies a complex security environment and fuels division. He highlighted military gains against terror groups, saying that between May 2023 and February 2025, security forces killed more than 13,500 terrorists and criminals while rescuing nearly 10,000 hostages. And now we move straight to business. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has announced that the Abuja-Kaduna passenger train service will resume this week. NRC Chief Public Relations Officer Callistus Uyemado, who made this known in a statement in Lagos State, said the resumption was as a result of the successful completion of repair and safety checks on the affected section of track at Asham. Recall that the service was temporarily suspended after the unfortunate incident of August 26. The chief PRO said since then, the corporation has worked tirelessly to ensure both the infrastructure and rolling stock are restored to the highest safety standards in line with global best practices. Oyemado pointed out that as part of their commitment to passenger welfare, the NRC had refunded 512 passengers out of the 583 on board the affected train. He added that efforts were ongoing to reach and process refunds for the remaining passengers to ensure that no one was left behind. In entertainment, Edo State lawmaker Natasha Osawaru gladly showered encomiums on her new mother-in-law. A video from the birthday party of innocent Two-Face Idibia's mother, Rose Idibia, shows Natasha Osawaru praying for her mother-in-law. The Edo State lawmaker, Two-Face's great mother and the best mother-in-law in the world. In sports, Manchester United are interested in signing Juventus Serbia striker Dusan Vlahovic in the January transfer window.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Israel leader Benjamin Netanyahu will meet again in the White House today, Monday. Now, this is the fourth time they are meeting this year. They will talk about what will happen in Gaza after almost 2 years of heavy war. Trump said on Sunday that he wants something special and greatness in the Middle East. He has also been saying many times that the war should stop.
This is the news on 92.3